Your first mistake as a spy is believing the secret is the dangerous part. It feels like the danger should be the file, the name, the room, or the person watching from across the street. But the real danger starts earlier, when you learn to divide yourself without looking divided. The dangerous part is the ordinary life you have to keep performing, while another version of you disappears into rooms no one can ask about. You still smile at birthdays. You still answer harmless questions. But every normal sentence now has a locked door behind it. Today, you start at the bottom. By the final level, you will not just collect secrets. You maintain an ordinary identity. Work ordinary hours. Have ordinary conversations. Your most important performance is appearing too unimportant to examine. One day, a neighbor asks a simple question that should not matter. Why did you move here? You answer smoothly. Then they ask a follow-up you were not expecting. That is the dark rule. A cover is not a mask. You will learn that information can save lives, destroy families, and erase the person carrying it. A mask comes off. A cover becomes a cage with furniture. At this level, the hard part is not lying to strangers. It is keeping your real self from becoming evidence against you. You learn to edit love. Family becomes risk. Memory becomes risk. Even missing someone becomes something you must manage in private. So ask yourself the uncomfortable question. If your country asked for your privacy, your name, and your peace, where would you finally say no? Level 1. You move up when the mission is no longer only surviving your own cover. It is protecting someone else who has even more to lose. Level 6. The handler. Now you are responsible for people who risk their freedom, family, and future because they believe giving you information is worth the price. You assess motives. Watch for pressure. Protect boundaries. Decide when information is not worth the damage it may cause the person providing it. A source tells you they can get more. The intelligence trainee. They want to prove themselves. They want to be useful. And suddenly your job is not pushing harder. It is deciding whether useful is becoming dangerous. This is the rule that separates professionals from predators. A person is not a tool just because they volunteered. Sometimes the most important intelligence decision is not how much you can get. It is how much you should refuse. The cost is responsibility with no public credit. If things go right, history may never know. You are not in a tuxedo. If things go wrong, one person's life may carry your decision forever. And yes, this is the argument. If one secret could protect many people, how much risk is it fair to ask one person to carry? If you keep climbing, you stop being the person inside one operation. You become the person deciding which operations deserve to exist. Level 7. The Spymaster. You are no longer chasing secrets. You are deciding which secrets matter enough to move people, money, reputations, and risk. You set priorities. You are not jumping across rooftops. Challenge. Assumptions. Protect sources you may never meet. Tell powerful people what they do not want to hear without making uncertainty sound weaker than it is. Then a choice arrives with no clean version. Act too soon, and someone may be exposed. Wait too long, and people may be harmed. There is no heroic music. Just a room getting very quiet. That is the final rule. Intelligence is not power unless judgment survives it. You are sitting in a quiet room learning how much danger can hide inside boring paper. At the top, secrets stop feeling exciting. They feel heavy because every answer creates a responsibility. Outside the work, honesty feels strangely incomplete. You can tell the truth and still leave out the part that shaped you. So your life as a spy was never really about gadgets, disguises, or movie danger. It was about carrying realities other people are protected from knowing. Remember the hotel room? At the start, you thought the secret was the dangerous part. By now, you know the secret was only the weight. The real danger was becoming the kind of person who can carry it too well. You read reports? Everyone respects sacrifice when it stays abstract. But if loyalty costs your name, your peace, and the people who think they know you, when does service become self-erasure? If you started at the bottom, you wanted to protect your country. If you reached the top, you learned the harder truth. Country may survive the secrets. You may not survive what keeping them teaches you to hide. The final level is not knowing every secret. It is coming home with a life you cannot fully explain and still trying to remain someone worth trusting. Compare timelines. Look for patterns. Learn that one missed detail can become someone else's emergency. Your first small test is not glamorous. 2 reports disagree by 1 detail. Everyone else moves on. You cannot. Something about the timing feels wrong. That is your first rule. In intelligence work, boring is not the opposite of dangerous. Boring is where dangerous hides until someone notices. At this level, you do not chase secrets. You learn to be disturbed by the detail everyone else calls small. Your cost is attention. You stop relaxing into the world. News headlines feel personal. Casual conversations start sounding like unfinished reports. You move up when people trust your judgment enough to let your quiet suspicion change someone's plan. Level 2. The Junior Intelligence Officer. Now your job is not just finding information. It is understanding what people might do with it. You prepare briefings. Test assumptions. Ask what could be wrong. Learn the difference between facts, guesses, and confident guesses wearing better clothes. One morning, your briefing goes higher than you expected. A sentence you wrote may influence a decision you will never be allowed to see. Here is the dark rule. Certainty is expensive. And sometimes the most honest intelligence sentence is, "We do not know yet." At this level, the danger is not only being wrong. It is sounding too sure when powerful people want permission. You learn to disappoint people with silence. Someone asks how your day was, and your whole job becomes choosing which harmless version of the truth can survive dinner. You move up when intelligence stops being something you read and becomes something you have to gather from human fear, pride, greed, and loneliness. Level 3. The Field Support Officer. You are closer to the ground now. Not the center of the operation, but close enough to feel its temperature. You coordinate logistics. Watch moods shift. Notice who is calm for the wrong reasons. Learn that intelligence is not only found in documents, it leaks out of behavior. Then you meet someone who is afraid. Not movie afraid. Real afraid. Their voice is steady, but their hand keeps touching the same corner of the table. That is the rule that keeps you human. A source is a person before they are information. Forget that, and you may get results while losing the reason results matter. The report will turn them into paragraphs, but you remember the hand, the T, and the fear under their voice. This is where the comments should split. If someone shares secrets to protect their family, are they a traitor, a survivor, or both? You move up when you stop being near the work and become part of the cover that makes the work possible. Level 4. The Official Cover Officer. On paper, you have a normal overseas job. In reality, every polite room has 2 conversations happening at once. You attend meetings. Build relationships. Listen to what is said and what people avoid saying. Learn that diplomacy is often a stage where everyone knows the play has hidden lines. One evening, a friendly guest says something too casually. A small complaint. A passing joke. Everyone laughs. You do not because you hear the door it opened. Here is the reversal. Politeness is not the opposite of conflict. Sometimes politeness is the camouflage conflict wears in public. At this level, you are paid to notice the sentence behind the sentence. The cost is loneliness with good manners. You are surrounded by people, invitations, names, and rooms, but almost no one is allowed to know where you really are inside your own life. You move up when the cover stops being a job description and becomes a life that must survive inspection. Level 5. The Non-Official Cover Operative. Now there may be no comforting title to stand behind. No obvious institution. No easy explanation if your life breaks open.